Hello and welcome to another Medicinal Monday podcast episode of the Alter Your Health podcast. I'm Dr. Ben.
And I'm Dr. Susanna.
And we are both naturopathic doctors who empower you to heal yourself through whole food, plant-based nutrition, as well as mind-body medicine. And today in Medicinal Monday, we are talking all about spring cleansing. And honestly, I think that this episode is a little bit late because we already finished our Alter Health spring cleanse where we enjoyed a lot of these foods that we're going to be talking about. But that being said, it is never too late to cleanse your body, which is, I think, kind of like a full-time job, or hopefully it shouldn't really feel like a job. It should feel natural and easy, but it's something that we can bring more mindfulness and attention to, especially during the spring.
Yeah. I mean, the way that I see it is that actually a few weeks ago, we did a liver special episode where we talked all about supporting liver health and cleansing. The week before then, we talked about, how to really clean up household and body care products so that we're minimizing exposure to toxicity. So I feel like we've been talking a lot about cleansing this spring.
It's
but
true.
This is like a bonus episode for people who might have missed our cleanse. And really, we're going to be talking about some easy ways that you can really boost cleansing just through choosing some particularly cleansing foods to include in your diet.
For sure. And, I don't want this to sound like any sort of, some quick hack or, these 3 medicinal superfoods, because the more important thing, as hopefully we're all familiar with and understanding and experiencing in our lives, is that we sustain a detoxifying lifestyle or a health promoting lifestyle. A lot of people swing from the extremes, right, into some intense cleanse and then back into, pizza and French fries and beer and chicken nuggets. And obviously maybe the pendulum doesn't swing that far. But we want to live in the middle in a balanced sort of way where we're not swinging too far. And that doesn't mean, of course, we know that doesn't mean that we have to sacrifice anything. And because it's just a win-win scenario when we're flooding our body with nutritious foods and we're resetting our taste buds and redeveloping and cultivating a strengthened relationship with food and nourishing ourselves. So that's of course the intention.
Yeah, and today we're really going to focus in on 3 specific foods, our 3 favorite springtime cleansing foods. And we're going to geek out a little bit talking about what it is about these foods that make them so amazing and so great for cleansing the body.
Yeah. So of course, if these are some of our 3 favorites, especially during the spring, I would say like pretty much only during the spring. But that being said, depending on where you are on planet Earth and what's coming from the earth in your backyard, then, your cleanse foods might look a little bit differently. But I know in most of the northern hemisphere, northern latitudes, we're experiencing an abundance of fresh fruits and vegetables, or maybe at this point, mostly just fresh vegetables. The fruits come a little bit later, but this naturally invites cleansing. So it's part of the natural ecosystem and process. So before we dive into these 3 foods, of course, we know that our whole food plant-based anti-inflammatory challenge starts tonight. If you're not already enrolled and registered, it's not too late. You can jump in and join us for session number 1 tonight. This is a free event that we're hosting on Facebook, on YouTube, and hopefully you can attend or catch the replays.
Yes.
So now let's dive into these 3 favorite vegetables that we've really been indulging in this spring so far. Which one do you want to start off with?
I was thinking asparagus.
Okay.
Yes, asparagus. So, because yes, we have been eating a ton of asparagus this spring. And actually in Colorado here, this is right around the time of year where wild asparagus starts to sprout up as well.
All over the place. It kind of just looks like grass. Right. And I don't actually know any place. Do you know any place like around town?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Sometimes,
I know some secret spots.
Most of the time when I become aware of it, it's like kind of past its prime and it's already like doing the flowering kind of thing, but it's still okay to eat. at that point, but it's not like the asparagus shoots that we see in the grocery store.
Right.
But we can get it early and fresh and enjoy those asparagus shoots. And let's talk about why we might do that.
Okay, let's start off with just some nutritional basics, and then we'll get into more of the specifics of how it supports cleansing.
Yeah.
But so asparagus, just so you know, great source of vitamin K, great source of folate, great source of vitamin A and vitamin C. Also contains a ton of different antioxidants, such as quercetin and kaempferol. These are associated with anti-cancer benefits. But one antioxidant to really point out is that asparagus is very high in glutathione, and glutathione is specifically a very helpful nutrient when it comes to detoxification.
Right. And when I think about asparagus, of course, we know that glutathione and all these antioxidants have effects all over the body, but especially in many cases, the liver. But when I think of asparagus, I think of kidney health. And maybe you think of that as well, because maybe when you eat asparagus, you experience your urine smelling in a funky way. And that's a natural thing. And there's I guess there's a scientific reason for that. And that's one of the breakdown metabolites of asparagus is asparagusic. It's called
Asparagusic acid.
Asparagusic acid, because it's the only place in nature that they've found this compound that's a sulfuric compound and has this funky smell. And that's what the sulfur smelling urine smell of your asparagus urine is attributed to. But there are other theories around why some people experience more asparagic urine smelling urine,
pungent smelling urine.
More, I don't know if that's you. Personally, I don't. I feel like I've smelt that in my toilet from my urine like once or twice, but usually not at all. What about you, Susanna?
I used to smell it a lot more often, but now I don't.
Yeah. So
I've also heard theories that also the amount of time after you eat the asparagus, but the amount of time between when you eat the asparagus and the time you smell it in the toilet can indicate how detoxifying the asparagus was, or there's all these theories, right?
They are theories, but in my experience, what resonates and rings true is that if we are smelling the more pungent asparagus smelling urine, that's actually an invitation to maybe do a couple of things. Maybe eat more consistently, maybe hydrate a little bit more to continue detoxifying our kidneys and continue clearing things from our kidneys, because we know that our kidneys are not only clearing asparagusic acid, our kidneys are clearing all sorts of waste products. So the more efficiently our kidneys are clearing, actually the less we are the less likely we are to smell all of these compounds that are being concentrated in our urine. So more smelly urine means drink more water and maybe eat more asparagus consistently, and you might just find out that smelly urine fades and it's no longer an issue. I know that we've observed that in some people who've been cleansing with us and such.
Yes, but also just to highlight really the compound in asparagus that really helps with that kidney cleansing is asparagine.
Yeah.
Yes. So asparagine really helps flush out that excess waste from the kidneys. So there you've got the kidney cleansing, but when we're talking about liver cleansing, that's where glutathione really comes into play. We just mentioned that earlier. And also asparagus is very high in chlorophyll, which is also known to be a great detoxifying
That's always funny
compound.
when you search for a vegetable on Google, like, oh, what are the healing effects of broccoli? Well, chlorophyll.
Well, yes, because it's green.
Chlorophyll is the hemoglobin of plant life. Chlorophyll is in all plant life, just like every animal has blood. So yes, and chlorophyll is really detoxifying and helps actually create blood and build blood in humans and animals that eat plants.
I was also reading funny, cool fact that asparagus consumption actually helps more quickly metabolize alcohol and can actually be a helpful hangover remedy
because of the glutathione.
Because of the glutathione.
And all the things that speed up liver detoxification.
Right.
Similar, I mean, not the kind of a tangent, but grapefruit juice, grapefruit juice speeds up liver metabolism and detoxification of many things. And that's why people are told not to drink it or eat too many grapefruits when they're taking specific medications because of a similar thing. Probably haven't been told not to eat asparagus, but similar kind of effect with a lot of these cleansing and detoxifying foods that are rich in things like glutathione.
Yes.
So asparagus, liver, kidneys. And when I think about cleansing and detoxifying in general, I'm thinking about, for sure, supporting the liver health, but also what we refer to as the emunctory organs, which are the kidneys, the bowels, of course, sweating through the skin and the respiratory system and breathing and exhaling and that sort of thing.
Right.
So asparagus, supportive of the liver and the kidneys. The next one on the list.
And we can add the bowels.
Well, every plant that we eat that's fiber rich and supporting a healthy, diverse microbiome is going to support our bowel habits.
Right. But I guess I do just want to highlight with asparagus, because this is actually a commonality between the other two vegetables, that asparagus is high in inulin. Not all vegetables are high in inulin, and that's a specific type of soluble fiber that offers great nourishment to our healthy microbes that populate our gut.
Yes.
So,
and any source of soluble fiber is also going to bind on and grab and shuttle out other toxins through our bowels, and then we can flush them down the toilet. So asparagus helps us flush number 1 and flush number 2 toxicity down the toilet.
Yes.
So maybe the next one, I know this is Dr. Susanna's all-time favorite, and then maybe we'll end with one of my favorites.
Awesome. Well, my all-time favorite is artichoke. Artichoke has been one of my favorite vegetables since I was a little girl. And man, are these veggies detoxifying.
And they're beautiful.
They're beautiful. They're fun to eat. They're delicious. And so just a few basics. Also very high in folate and vitamin K, high in magnesium, high in vitamin C, and super duper high in fiber as well, specifically inulin.
Yeah.
So definitely supportive of that microbial diversity in the gut to really help with our detoxification through our bowels.
Yeah.
But it has all these other very interesting things about it too.
Totally. And I mean, artichoke is one of those foods that is also kind of a medicinal herb, right? Like you might find like an artichoke leaf tincture or artichoke leaf tea. And artichoke is known to be, in herbal medicine, is known to be one of those bitter herbs that supports bile acid production and liver health in that way. But also artichoke leaf are known to have all these antioxidants that are liver supportive, similar to milk thistle, which is much more in the category of herbs than it is foods. And some of those antioxidants that support liver regeneration and protection, amongst so many other things like anti-cancer properties and such.
Totally. And I think it's worth talking a little bit more about the bile detox connection, because it is such a major way that we do detoxify. So essentially, when our liver produces bile, it then secretes it into our digestive tract, our intestines. And bile helps us to break down fat when we're digesting fat, but also bile contains a ton of toxins. That is just one method of getting toxins out of the body.
Right.
Also, bile contains a lot of cholesterol. So it's one of the ways that our body manages our cholesterol levels is by pooping out bile acids.
Totally. And a lot of people wonder, like, oh my gosh, I've got this toxic, sluggish liver, this fatty liver. How do I heal this? Well, it heals itself naturally. And the mechanism by which it heals is releasing stuff through the bile tract into the intestines and then being hopefully flushed out through regular healthy bowel movements, hydration, all this sort of thing, moving stuff through the bowels. So anything that moves our biliary system, what is referred to, is helpful for detoxification in that sort of way. And anything that's bitter, anything that's got some bitter qualities to it, generally moves the biliary system.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so a lot of the research on artichoke has actually been looking at artichoke in that kind of supplement form. But it's super interesting because they have been shown, artichoke has been shown to lower LDL cholesterol levels, to lower triglyceride levels, and also to reduce the amount of inflammation and also fat stored in the liver in non-alcoholic fatty liver disease.
Which all kind of makes
Comes
sense
together,
when
yes.
we understand what it's actually doing for us physiologically. When we take a artichoke leaf capsule, or when we're eating artichoke hearts or artichoke leaf. And I think a lot of people might have a question like, artichoke, like I think I know what that is, but I'm not even quite sure. And how do I cook it? Well, you steam them for a long time and you eat them. And Dr. Susanna made a little tutorial video, in fact. So, you know, you can reach out, we can point you, or you can just find out, search how to eat an artichoke. But the fact is that a fresh steamed artichoke is different than artichoke hearts on your pizza, which are really good as well, but maybe not still containing so many of these phytonutrients and antioxidants that we're talking about when it comes to regeneration and protection of your liver.
Right.
So that's artichoke. Any other
No.
fun facts or tips about artichoke?
I think a great segue into more liver support with dandelion.
Dandelions. And I am in love with dandelions. I just think that they're the coolest thing. I think it's just cool that they're so medicinal, but so underrated. Like, you know, of course, everyone thinks it as just the quintessential weed that needs to be sprayed or mitigated from our lawn or whatever. And when we moved to Carbondale here, I thought it was the coolest thing that here in Carbondale, Colorado, our small, lovely town, it's actually the town flower. And it reminded me always of that quote. I think it's Rosemary Gladstar, who's like an herbalist, who says, what's the difference between a weed and an herb is a judgment.
A weed and a flower.
A weed and a flower is a judgment. Because this just brings into light the fact that every plant on planet Earth offers tremendous healing potential and benefit. And we just need to find that. And with dandelion, it's really evident. There is a lot of research showing its health promotion, specifically with regard to liver again. Also, so many anti-cancer properties are attributed to dandelion. And the cool thing about dandelion is when we're talking about dandelion as a plant, it's the flower, the leaf, the root. All of these parts of the plant are edible. All of them are very bitter and not something that we generally are going to like make a full dandelion salad. That probably won't go down that well, but we can kind of supplement our nutrition with a little bit of dandelion leaves in the salad, few dandelion leaves in a flour in the smoothie, and we can even roast the dandelion roots and make a tea with it. That's oftentimes how the dandelion root is enjoyed. And like I said, so many phytonutrients that have liver protective and anti-cancer properties in all aspects of the plant. Mm-hmm. And with dandelion, it all really comes back to that bitter biliary system moving property when we're talking about detoxification and liver health. So
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And just some basics to cover that. It's high in vitamin A, high in vitamin C, high in vitamin K, and vitamin E, high in folate, like a lot of leafy greens, but also very high in minerals, including iron, magnesium, potassium. So you actually find dandelion in a lot of kind of blood building formulas because it can help restore iron levels in the blood. Dandelions also, like all three of these superfoods we've mentioned today, high in inulin, so very helpful for,
especially the root.
Yeah, so very helpful for maintaining that healthy microbiome.
Yeah.
And also, some of the studies that have been specifically looking at dandelion show similar things to the studies that we just referenced with artichoke, that it helps to reduce that LDL cholesterol and triglycerides and also protects the liver against damage. And that's mainly because of all of the polyphenols, antioxidants that are contained in dandelion that protect against that oxidative damage that toxins pose against the liver.
Yeah. So I think, dandelion is such a great opportunity to bring in some wild, fresh food into your cuisine, into your smoothies, into your salads. And yeah, it's going to be different than the lettuce that you buy at the grocery store. Oh, yeah, is it? But that being said, be cautious with harvesting dandelion. Obviously, a lot of them might be sprayed or like
if you're getting it out of someone's lawn,
off the side of the road, like
which we used to do.
We did used to do that, and it's not the smartest thing, but it's all over the place in nature as well. I always thought like, oh, for whatever reason, dandelion just grows in yards. No, dandelion grows everywhere. It's prolific all around the planet, as far as I know, and so nutritious. So don't spray it, don't weed it. Oh, I guess we're probably not, like, it's just crazy to think if humans were able to eat all dandelions grown on the planet, I don't know if we would be able to do it.
Well, There's
so many.
I remember our herbalism teacher told us that, some herbalists believe that if specific herbs pop up in your garden or your yard, it's like the earth telling you, hey, your body needs a little bit of this medicine.
And if you just consider,
if you
just consider, like, in the Western world, say, and all the toxicity in the Western world and all the dandelions in the Western world, and here we are in the Western world spraying our dandelions with more toxicity, and the earth is like, here, medicine, take it. And we're like, no, medicine is ugly. I'm going to spray these weeds and give myself more disease. So don't be that human. That's a message for all of us. Like, just listen to the earth, be curious about what the earth is providing us. And because she is providing us a whole heck of a lot.
I have a fun story just to end on. My dad, he's always been a business-minded person ever since he was little. His very first business that he started when he was, under the age of 10 or so, was to go around to his neighbors and offer to pull their dandelions. And I think it was like a penny per dandelion or something like that. But
then you would sell them.
Well, I mean, then he could have, just think. But I mean, really, of course, we all know that to prevent the spread of dandelion, you need to really uproot it, get it from the root. But we also have learned here in today's episode that it's that root that contains so many beneficial compounds. We didn't even talk about how it has a diuretic effect, so it can also help to cleanse the kidneys. So
asparagus also.
Diuretic.
Yeah.
Yes. So just business idea for those people out there. But
pick the weeds and then put them in a capsule. No, I'm just kidding. Eat the whole thing.
Yes, enjoy the plant. Enjoy the plant. So
all right. Well, I know that we missed out on a lot of cleansing and detoxifying plants and herbs and veggies and fruits that are coming into the world this spring season. And if we missed any of your favorites, feel free to leave them in a comment or something. But as always, we appreciate you for tuning in, and hopefully see a lot of you this evening in the Whole Food Plant-Based Challenge, the first session happening tonight. And just look forward to reconnecting next time, whenever it might be.
All right, everyone. Bye for now.
Peace and love.